Hello and welcome to K-Stop Fuses K-Pop Podcast. Hey guys, this is Jeff, and as always, I'm joined by the Wiz Khalifa to my Taeyeon, Tina Zhu.
That would imply that we have some animosity between us, right?
Oh my gosh, Tina, I wasn't even trying to get into that just yet.
I am back. Did y'all miss me?
I missed you. It was great last week having Mark, of course.
Mark did a great job. He really did. It was a great episode. And I appreciate him filling in for me. Thank you so much, Mark.
Yes.
I will say I was very disappointed that out of all episodes for me to miss the one with Bermuda Triangle and B1A4, both releases of which I really, really enjoyed.
Well, give us your quick hot takes.
My only hot take is for Bermuda Triangle. I was a little bit taken aback and disappointed by the line from Zico about my skin might be yellow, but I have black soul. That was something that I definitely wanted to bring up just like off the bat on this week's episode, because that's like the kind of sentiment that I think it's their form of what they think is flattery through imitation, but I don't think they went about it in the right way. But again, this is a society that they're not really woke in any way. So,
to say the least.
So, and then it was just very ironic for Crush to follow up in his verse saying like y'all motherfuckers trying to act like me. I'm like, that's really ironic because you basically, I mean, he didn't say that line, but you know, the whole, you know, sentiment was a little, I don't think appropriate.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is like, unless you went and actually sought out the lyrics, you probably wouldn't know that. So I think, that was a little bit disappointing. But it wasn't, not that I'm saying that this is okay, but it wasn't like, it didn't cause the song to, I think, be written off by anyone. But I do think that people need to be aware that was one of the lines.
Yeah, my God, I'm disappointed I didn't catch that.
But, you know, it's nothing surprising, sadly. But yeah. So I wonder if anybody brought that to the artist's attention or the writer, or I guess Zico's the writer. But other than that, I love the track. I love Dean's part a lot. But yeah, I hope to, because I heard you two kind of speculating that there's probably going to be another collaboration coming up that might be maybe a bit more R&B, which would be really dope. I think this worked out because, you know, Dean was singing and there was a good balance of both, but obviously a bit more aggressive because it is a bravado track.
Yeah.
And then B1A4, I love the track so much.
Really?
I feel like they have very cinematic pop ballads and pop songs. So other than that's like my main takeaway. I love it so much. I listened to the album itself and I really liked it. It was they're a pretty consistent group.
They are.
They have very good feel good tracks, and I was very happy with the release.
I also, you know, a quick I was talking in the last episode too about how I was like, I hope B1A4 comes back for a tour. And then shout out to on Twitter, someone hit me up, or it was Daniel Van Voren at Yeller Van, who said, catch up on this week's K-Stop, so maybe old news by now, but B1A4 is coming to New York on 12/15. And I didn't even know that. Or maybe I knew that, but I totally missed it, or I was on vacation or something like that. But I really hope I get to see them when they're next in town, because that is awesome. So hopefully we'll get to see them and everything. And glad you a sad episode for you to miss, Tina, but
I know.
you I'm glad you got to share some takes right now. Another quick take I want to give a shout out to, and this just goes to show why you need to listen to K-Stop at all times, because we know what we're talking about, people, is Jimmy LeBeau on Twitter at YoungK1MCHI, Young K1 Michi, I think is kind of what that.
Wow.
I'm
okay.
not totally sure if I'm reading it totally correctly, but Twice just announced they're doing a Christmas edition of the Twice Coaster Lane 1 album. And remember when I was predicting
predicting that,
you know, I think it was I do believe it was at Tennessee Appeal, Stephen Knight, who said the knocking kind of sounded like jingle bells.
Right.
And then I kind of put two and together and said, okay, maybe it's, like what Got 7 did last year. And then Jimmy points out, he hit me up, he wrote at Jeff Bender, he said, heard it on K-Stop first. And I was like, that's right, babies.
Good call.
So we're always giving hints. We're always dropping tea. Dropping tea, sipping tea. We're always revealing tea.
Yeah.
I that expression is so old, but I still love saying it. And yeah, that's why you got to listen every week.
I mean, their sound and whole presentation is very conducive to Christmas music and holiday jingles. Twice, yeah. So
yeah. That should kill it.
That should definitely be like a chart topper, if anything.
No, they're gonna love. Or they're gonna do like the costumes again, like they always do. They did the Halloween version, and here comes the Christmas version. So I'm sure it's going to be very fun and awesome.
Very festive.
Very festive. And last but not least, we of course need to see what the viewers and listeners and readers all thought of their favorite releases of last week. B1A4 kind of killed it. They got 80% of the votes.
I'm not mad at that. I was actually thinking if I had, did I vote in the poll? I did vote in the poll despite not being on the episode, but I think I did vote for them.
Yeah, I think I did. They got my vote in the end as well. And then, Zico, Crush and Dean came in a respectable second with 14%, and San E's Bad Year got 6% of the votes. So thank you guys for the comments, for the votes, all these things. As you know, every week we have a poll on Fuse.tv of the best releases of the week. After we get through the top releases of the week, you can go vote on them on Fuse.tv. Hit us up on Twitter anytime. I'm at Jeff__Benjamin.
And I am at Hey_Tina with 3 A's.
Oh my gosh, I think I forgot. I wasn't sure if you had an underscore or not, and I apologize if I said a Hey Tina with 3 A's.
I have an underscore. If anyone tried to look me up with no underscore, I don't know if that person exists. If they do, I'm sure once you click into it, it'll be very obvious it's not me.
It's not you, because you're not talking about, they're probably not talking about basketball, other things that Tina likes, and wine.
Or I'm like not cursing or being like shady and mean. So
that's you. Just kidding, Tina. But anyway, we got 3 awesome releases this week. Tina, who is first on your list?
Let's talk about Hyoyeon, because she released hers, I believe, like a week or so ago. So let's start with that, just because it's been a few days.
Yeah.
And she is the latest is it the latest SM Station release?
It is, but it's a little more special, I guess.
Yeah. And it's her solo release with Mystery. And I think this is her first official solo single, right? Because previously we talked about Hyoyeon as a part of Triple T, which was oh god, it was boy. Min, Chokwon, Hyoyeon featuring JYP. It was the best hot mess I've ever watched.
The best hot mess.
Yeah, like I was totally into it. I think we were into it, but also kind of like just very like a little bit confused and taken aback. But
sure,
it was kind of wild, a lot happening, but
it was born to be wild.
It was born to be wild, indeed. But now we get to focus solely on Hyoyeon.
Yes.
And Hyoyeon is known as the dancer of Girls' Generation. So we don't often get to see her have a lot of like vocal shine or just even like a lot of camera time in general, unless it's, the dance breakdown or whatever. Yeah. So I was really excited to see this. And song-wise, I thought it was really dope that they went with kind of like this Indian, like, I don't know if is Bhangra is that accurate, or is there like other, like there's elements of it, but it's, I don't know my Indian music very well, so
it's definitely
influenced.
Yeah, and it definitely has those, and I thought it was interesting. Well, because. So I keep going back and forth. On one hand, at times it sounds like kind of like a 2002 Timbaland production, because he loves those kind of sounds. I love those things, and those elements almost make me think it sounds a little dated. But then at the same time, then on the I think it's on the chorus or the breakdown or whatever, there's more horns and there's more brass and stuff like that, and that actually gives it kind of a different feel that almost kind of like, you know, they're similar but different to make the song kind of stand out in its own little way. And yeah, I keep going back and forth on it. But you like the production.
I do. I think there wasn't enough like kind of differentiation between sections of the song. I felt like I liked the production, but I felt like it was just the whole thing was that like brassy sound, and it just got a little bit repetitive after a while.
Yeah, that's legitimate.
I don't know if I would just listen to it because I would get a little bit bored. I thought the video was dope because I got a lot of I got kind of like a Selena Gomez J-Lo blend to it.
Oh wow,
because
that's
like
a compliment.
I guess, I mean, like Selena has that kind of like raspy kind of talking, singing style of performance. And I kind of got that from Hyoyeon because Hyoyeon, she doesn't have like a huge range, but I like her tone and the way she sounds.
Yeah.
So that's where I got the Selena vibe a little bit. And then J-Lo more so the dancing and the outfit, like that, like kind of throwback, like that white outfit she was wearing, that the midriff bearing.
The ponytail.
With the ponytail. I got J-Lo vibes from that. I thought the choreography was dope. I thought the production of the video was great, minus some of the effects. Do you remember Do you remember that kind of like like kind of?
It looks like a kaleidoscope. Or
kaleidoscope kind of like
thing.
Beehive looking type thing.
I didn't.
That
like
was
that
a
either.
little.
Yeah.
That looked very dated.
You're right.
Kind of like amateur, like. After Effects, if you will,
or just like trying to do something just for the sake of doing something.
Like that really wasn't necessary.
I didn't need that either.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that as well.
Did you like the kind of overall aesthetic, like the setting of it, the pace of it?
I think it's a good look for her. You know, I think the standout moment for me was actually the rap section, when she, you know, because she really knows how to at least deliver those, you know. Obviously like singing and, you know, taking full center stage singing is probably something new to her, and that maybe almost that's why it doesn't stand out to me as much. But the rap section, I was like, oh yeah, she is in her element, you know.
Right, yeah.
But no, I thought it was a really good look for her. I think, you know, it's like, it's almost kind of like finally, you know, like
it's overdue.
It's a little. I'm also a little torn too, because it's almost like, okay, so because, you know, you were even saying, like, I think it's a station song, but she is going to promote it on shows and stuff like that. Right. Which makes me think, okay, this is now the second time she's gone to promote a station song when everyone else just like kind of releases them and that's it. And, you know, like Taeyeon and Tiffany got their solo albums, full promotions and everything. I almost feel like Hyoyeon's kind of being like, hey, I want to do this.
Right.
Like, but why is she only getting subjected to like one-off stations, SM station singles? And I'm almost kind of like, I wonder if it was almost like a bargaining thing. I think she wants to do it.
I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of it has to do with what they think they'll get back. Because investment-wise, internationally, I think she's very well received because she is like, she has a lot of swagger, you know, she's fierce, you know, you know, like bad bitch, whatever. We love her. But I think she's not a vocalist in the group. Yeah. Whereas the ones who did get solo albums, they're more like, even like, what was the trio?
Tight to See or TTS.
TTS, yeah. They were all people who generally sang.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's not her main role. Yeah. So maybe this was kind of like a middle ground. Maybe
it was. Yeah. No, that's legitimate.
And she's also not, unless things have changed, she's also not one of the more popular members domestically. Right. So no, that's just 100% return wise. I don't know if that's like the smartest business decision, even though I would love it because I love her. She's like one of my favorite members. Yeah.
No, that's legit. Because I was almost thinking too, like, you know, how did this, you know, or like we would have thought we would have seen something from, I don't know who.
But she's someone who is very, because she's a dancer, she's very like great for like performance wise, right? So it's good that they're letting her at least promote it.
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah.
I will say I wish there was like a really aggressive dance break because I know what she can do, and this was very like safe. Like it was very like kind of like no shade to Britney, but it was like kind of like the new Britney that kind of was just like, let me like twist a little and kick a little and like, okay,
Right.
you know, I wasn't like blown away. But I think overall, like, it's very catchy. She looks amazing. We didn't even talk about how great she looks.
Yeah, no, she really does.
I thought the styling was overall very solid.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
her eye makeup was great, and like that, because the eye makeup was key, because like the song was all like, oh, I'm enchanting you and all of that, and you know, I'm taking over your mind, and so you got to have the eyes like locking you in,
played together. That's a good point. Good call.
So I like it overall.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's a solid release, and I'm happy for her. You know, like you were kind of saying, it doesn't seem like they went all in, you know, investing in Hyoyeon, which is a little unfortunate, but I hope at least maybe this can open more people's eyes to her potential, what can happen next.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, maybe in the next album she'll have a big solo or something like that.
Yeah, because I mean, she was already on Taeyong's Up and Down song on the second mini album.
Totally.
And like, I thought that sounded good. So yeah,
so
more solos for Hyo.
Right. You know, I want to see, and you know, there's rumors that So Young is going to get a solo album by the end of the year or early next year. You know, do you remember her and Yuri did a song together this year that I really liked?
Oh yeah. That was very like top model sounding.
Yeah.
Right.
It was cool. It was cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very, very curious to see where, you know, what music lies ahead for the girls' generation. Girls.
For sure.
But let us know what you guys think. Was Hyoyeon that girl, or are you ready for something else? Let us know. Yes. So solid starts to the episode. What's next on
Should
your
we
list?
go to one of your very I don't know preferred, but you really like You really like 17.
Why you always call me out for this?
You love 17, and like if it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't like listen to them as much or pay as much attention to them. And they got such a great response at KCON, and they're finally back with another EP. Is it called 17 again?
It's called Going 17.
Going 17. My bad.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means either. But
I'm happy for them.
The video is called Boom Boom.
Boom Boom.
Boom Boom.
Yes. And it's the lead single from this is now their third, I guess, third comeback overall this year. They had kind of, you know, 2 for the full length album. This is now another EP before the year ends. And I heard a lot about this. You know, they were kind of hyping it up for a while. That like, it's their best work to date. You know, members really involved, and I gotta say, I'm really, really impressed by it.
You like it?
Yeah, I love. I think it's just become so clear that they know who they are, even so early into their careers. Have they even been around a year? I mean, they've been around a year, but
roughly,
but you know, they
still feel pretty new,
right? They still feel pretty new, but they clearly have a really distinct sound.
That's true.
That like, you know, I know that now it's like, okay, here's the you know, feel good boyish sound. Here's the aggressive manly part, and I think they're only sort of, you know, sharpening what they're kind of known for and just making really interesting singles, and then the album tracks get even more into them as a group, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah, no, you're right.
What do you think?
You're right. I think their singles are all very cohesive. And I wasn't sure how to describe it, but I think you nailed it with the whole what did you say, like feel good kind of boyish sound, and that's so true. And like, but like it's not super generic, you know, like there are a lot of,
that makes you want to like puke,
right?
Over, like,
exactly.
how pure it is.
Like a certain video we covered like a week or 2 ago that involved like a tennis court.
Oh
yeah, that we were very disappointed by. That was a little bit annoying, but no, it's something that I think normally I wouldn't like, but they really give it that kind of extra oomph.
Yes.
I will say, out of the 3 title tracks that they've released, like Pretty You, Very Nice, and this one, I don't know, I think this one's might be ranked like, I don't want to say the lowest. It might
Well, which one is it competing for?
I
for the lowest?
I like Pretty You.
You know, a lot of people like that song.
I like that one a lot.
And I think that song kind of
very
feels...
nice. Actually, got a little annoying to me. So right now, but then Boom Boom didn't blow me away either. But it's like it's something that I think the more I listen to it, the more I'll like it. So who knows? I'll check in next week. But I thought it was a really cute concept, like Boom Boom. You know, you caught my attention. You know, I'm smitten with you.
Yeah.
I think this video though impressed me the most visually because the choreography really impressed me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just kind of like BS choreography.
Oh, okay.
You know, that was like kind of gimmicky. I thought they actually showed off their dancing skills this time a bit more like front and center.
I know what you're... Yeah, I totally feel
like
that
right
too.
off the bat too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like just stuffed into some random dance break. It was just right off the back.
Yeah.
Bat, excuse me.
Is that the phrase, right off the
bat?
Oh, I think
right
I said
off the
mat.
bat. Oh, no. No.
It's
You're
been
like,
mat all these years?
right off the mat. Oh
right
my
off
gosh.
the mat.
No.
No. Anyway, but I totally know what you mean, and that, you know, I think they've done a really good job at figuring out where they shine, like as a group. I mean, one, you know, I don't know how they do it, but somehow with their, because we've talked about this in the past, like large groups in the past just feel sometimes way overwhelming. You know, lots of times a group doesn't feel cohesive if they have that many members. But I don't know why.
I think that's a big key.
They always feel so in sync with one another, and I always feel like there's, you know, it's not overwhelming. Don't want to mention a certain other 13-member group who actually has grown on me, if you even know who I'm talking about, but I'm not. Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
But I really do love all the things that they were showing in that video, and it always just feels like I'm still seeing every member get like a moment at the very least. Some members get more moments, but I feel like everyone is getting a moment, and I'm even like learning their names strictly just from like being like, I was watching with my roommate yesterday, and I'm like, oh, there's, you know, Woozy, and there's Mingyu, and then there's Joshua, and then there's Vernon. I was like, oh my gosh, I like know all their names now, just from simply, you know, being aware of kind of who does what and stuff like that. So I think they've done a really good job in that way.
What is the rapper's name, or the one that where it was like the second verse?
Vernon, maybe.
Is that
he has
Vernon?
black hair.
I think darker.
Leonardo DiCaprio. That's what they call him. They call him like the young Leonardo DiCaprio lookalike.
Was he the one who got out of the elevator in the hotel and kind of like looked around? I was like, oh, he's like very cute.
Black hair?
Yeah, the dark hair one. Yeah, like very dark hair. Okay.
Yeah, well, there's a couple rappers. They have a whole.
I was gonna say there's
unit.
like that's why like as soon as I said that I was like, that's not specific at all.
Shout out to Brooke Bunce on the Fuse social media team, who literally texted me a photo of Vernon and said he's definitely the hottest.
Oh my god, Brooke cracks me up. She like the people she likes in K-pop are just so random. Like she like loves Crush. And then apparently she like, I didn't even know she like knew 17 that much other than going to KCON and like watching them.
Well, she read my article. You can read my review about 17 on Fuse.tv now. Right. But she like screenshotted like, or she took a picture of like the article and like paused it on Vernon. She's like, he's obviously the hottest. And I was like, yes,
he's got to be the guy I'm talking about if we all agree. Shouts to Vernon.
Yes, I can even show you the video. Is this him? Is that you're referring to? Kind of a weird photo.
Is it? Now I'm just confused. It might not be him. Now I'm really confused.
Wait, don't look at that.
Who is this?
That one. We also were talking about.
He's cute too.
I think that's Mingyu. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just. There's too many. I can't even try to know their names
yet. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was, you know, I don't know. I'm just like once again, like I just thought, you know, this is what their brand needed. It was like right on brand.
Yeah.
You know, and I was even looking at like the credits of like the albums and stuff like that. And like, you know, the members contribute to writing all the songs, you know, basically all of them are like produced or co-produced by Woozy for the most part. He's like the short one who had the glasses, if you remember him in the video.
I don't remember.
He's a standout member too.
I'm going to go back and
there's some really cool tracks on there. I really liked I really liked a couple. Highlight was a highlight, not to be cheesy, but it's like this like
No
really
pun
cool
intended.
EDM song that they did. There's this really nice "Don't Listen in Secret" song where it's a nice
Okay.
ballad and stuff like that. I don't know. It's like, and even this 8-song EP. Don't like most K-pop groups like do 8 songs and then like 3 instrumentals
Three
and call it like
instrumentals, yeah.
or-
It's
and-
usually like
and-
4 new songs.
and like an acapella,
Right.
version, and then they call that an album. So I'm
Right.
like, these guys are bringing 8 totally new tracks.
Right.
So once again,
Very
just-
respectable.
yeah, I'm impressed. I really, see a lot of potential for them.
So
I
do
hope,
you like this the most out of their
I
3
mean,
like main releases?
I think, I always Pretty You, and I know everyone really likes that song. To me, it always feels like an anomaly in their discography because it feels like a little
Oh.
too happy and like
It's a
that's kinda-
little it's
it feels musical theater to me, but the more
Okay.
I listen to it, I'm like, oh, this is just a great song. It's not like, doesn't have like some hook it depends on or
right.
like
Yeah.
some,
I
it's
think
just-
that's why I like it. It's a
Mm.
little bit less intrusive. I don't know if that's
Intrusive.
the right word. I don't know
Intrusive.
if that's the right word. Like
Well,
it's
a little
not
less
like it's not
gimmicky.
like right. It's not like hitting you on the head with
Yeah.
like this is a hook and we're
Right.
like so catchy and trendy. It just sounds nice.
Yeah, 'cause-
it's just pleasant.
Compared to Very Nice, which had a very like, it was like like all these
yeah.
horns in your faces, and they had
It's
the
very, yeah.
suspenders, dance moves and everything. That one felt like, okay, we're going for something, and
Yeah.
you are going to get it
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
This I feel like is a nice, almost kind of in between, like the
Yeah.
boom boom, but they do the
That's
crotch
true.
the crotch pumps.
Oh,
Hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me. I was like, dang boys, like they are coming with these crotch pumps. But loved it, of course. And
course.
this felt like a nice in between. So maybe I don't know which one I like.
It's a tough call.
It's a tough one, but yeah, I don't know. Digging it regardless. So that was that's 17. Let us know what you guys think. I have a feeling
Yes.
lots of interest in them at the very least from fans. And then last but not least, we got Heize. Pronounced it right?
Yes.
We've been calling her Heize. Yeah.
Yes. Hi.
Who is here with had a really good year for the most part. We really liked her past singles,
I loved everything she released before.
which might give indication of what Tina thinks about Star, the new single from Heize, which I do believe is actually doing quite well on the charts.
Of course it is, because it's like it's slow and like boring to me.
Ooh, right off the bat. Yeah, I mean, automatically, I will say right away, I was like, oh, wow, this is very, and not to say that she can't do this sound, but it felt very what Zion T, Crush are kind of known for. Like, it just kind of.
Yeah, but it was also like there wasn't any edge to it. Like just like even production wise, I didn't like.
Yeah, honestly, the production was very
It
unremarkable
was just
to me.
so like dragging and like it sounded whiny.
Why
don't
whiny?
know.
Just
It's
the way she was singing, or the lyrics?
Yeah, it was
or
both. I think it was a combination of both.
Uh-huh.
The lyrics didn't help. But the lyric, it's fine. Like the lyrics are just. It was for those who I guess didn't look into the lyrics. It was basically her saying like seeking, I guess metaphorically seeking a star that she knows is there, but she can't see it, and the clouds are in the way, and she's waiting for like the rain to dissipate the clouds and whatever.
Lots of
and,
weather metaphors.
yeah, and she's just like wondering why that like this light isn't shining on her. And like the video was cool, but
Video was cool.
the video was cool. I just think that I guess sorry, let me just like go back to sonically. She I just think I prefer her more in that kind of rapping and then going to some like rap singing. I think that that's where she sounds the best.
Her sweet spot.
Because I think she can sing. I just think this wasn't the right song for her to display that. I thought the song was just a little too like basic and boring for her. Because she's such an edgy girl. She's so edgy, and I just don't think this did her justice.
Yeah, on one move, I get it. Like it's not a bad look for her to show go a little softer, go a little more ballady. It's winter, you know, these songs tend
That's true. I guess it
do
fits the
better
season.
in that time. You know, if she was ever going to do it, this is, you know, do not drop this in like the midst of summer, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say, to be fair, she did drop and July in like July or August. And then she dropped. So I guess like seasonally she hasn't like been off on that.
Did she do that on purpose?
I guess it would make sense. Like if Anne July came out right now, that'd be weird. Right? So I just think I thought the song was boring and it could have been better for her, you know.
I just licked the microphone.
It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I don't know.
Sure, this is sanitary. Only the best for case.
I mean, I didn't.
Yeah. In the end, so what I'll say is that, you know, like, well, I'm agreeing with you for the most part that, like, yeah, like I don't really, it certainly wasn't her most, I thought, you know, Come On and Groove and like, you know, the Angela EP,
that was
those
great.
some of my favorite releases, the best releases of the year for sure.
Yeah.
This was I could see them from like a business point almost being like, this is a great idea for you because, you know, you can show that you can sing, you can show, you know, a ballad side of you, you can, you know, if there was ever a time to do it and they were interested in exploring that, you know, this would be the time, and it's doing well, so maybe it'll pay off. You know, I wonder if she's creatively satisfied from it, but or if this was more of a label thing. But, you know, it's its own thing. The video was all right, you know. I didn't think it was the most flattering at times for her, and
I wasn't.
The colors were like fine, but you know, lots of times I did feel like I was dragging on, and I was like, especially at the end when there's like the 15 seconds of like just quiet, and I'm like, oh
yeah,
gosh.
I think they were just going for a very what's the word? I can't find the word, but
it felt very like
they were trying to be very like artistic and kind of like tell this kind of metaphorical story of her kind of striving to seek a different world or a different galaxy or whatever, and she wasn't satisfied with the reality of what she was in, and I think she felt trapped in that room that she was in until she cuts the cord, which I was thinking like, oh shit, is that like a metaphor for like, did she die? Is she does she like end herself and go all like, somebody mentioned like a Little Prince kind of, the Little Prince kind of like comparison or
Korea
analogy.
loves the Little Prince. That you see that in so many videos and concepts.
Yeah. So
you know, that's funny that you said, because I took it more as like her being like at the end of her rope, literally.
Okay.
Like at the end of her rope.
Okay. That could very well be it too.
Yeah, like something like that. And so that, and until she was like let go and like freed by it all. Yeah. So
I will say I appreciate that she experimented with something new visually. Because before it was like, I think I do like how all her videos are very different, you know, but they're all still very artistic.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So
something to be said.
I just think if I had not heard any of her previous stuff, I would have been like, oh, this is like nice.
Yeah.
But I think because I like things that are more like Shut Up and Groove-esque, this just didn't do it for me. But I think that's more of a personal preference.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So we'll leave
I'm
it
just
at
glad
that.
she's back. I'm glad she's back because this is not off an album, but I think this must mean that a new album's coming soon. Maybe hopefully a full length. I don't know, because in July was an EP, which was great. So
right. So maybe there's more to be seen from Heize, more surprises. So who gets your favorite release of the week then?
It would be, what was the first one we talked about?
Hyoyeon.
Oh, Hyoyeon, right. Probably Hyoyeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I got to give it to my boys. My boy
Very
17.
Fair.
Yeah. Yep. But let us know who your guys' favorite is, and the poll on fuse.tv should be hopefully some healthy competition this week. And don't forget, there's a playlist of all the music we discuss, YouTube playlist that you can scroll through all the different songs. Hit us up with your guys' reviews. We love seeing them, and we'll read them on next week's episode. So yeah. #K-Stop. Or leave a comment on fuse.tv on iTunes. We see it everywhere. So just let us know what you're thinking. And last but not least, or not last, not last nor least, here we go with as we get into our chart section. Wow, I'm struggling today. We are getting to look at the top 5 K-pop songs on US iTunes right now, and how appropriate, because number 5 is Star by Heize, which is kind of surprising. Okay. I didn't know she kind of had that
international
space over here. So hey, look at that. That's wonderful. Awesome. Number 4 is Playing with Fire, Blackpink.
Okay.
Also on last week's top 5, still going strong.
Going strong.
Number 3, Bermuda Triangle.
Yay.
Zico featuring Crush and Dean. I think that was number 1 last week.
They were number 1 last week.
Good memory. And then here they are again, still staying strong in the top 5. So good for them. Number 2 is a new song by Chanyeol from EXO and Punch, who this is from the Goblin drama original soundtrack OST.
Okay.
I haven't totally gotten into the song yet, but
I've not heard it yet.
I'm assuming there's some nice vocals up in here.
I don't know, probably.
Or rap. Something great in there. It's resonating with someone. But yeah, that's congrats to
OST tracks also do very well generally.
You're right. But coming in at number 1 is none other than the BoomBoom Boys.
Oh wow,
17.
really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're right there. The album's top selling K-pop album right now, right above BTS. So 17. I'm happy for you guys.
That's
Keep it up.
awesome.
Keep it up.
Boom boom.
And last but not least, we gotta check out. Well, if you guys remember, in a past episode, we did a predictions about the Mama Awards, the Mnet Asian Music Awards, which are always a huge deal in K-pop, basically like the VMAs of K-pop, I would say. And yeah, they happened this. What was it? I guess it would have been on Friday or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, once again, it was a interesting affair. Lots of things going on and lots of performances and stuff like that. And so the point of all that was that if you remember, we talked about it. We gave our predictions of like who should win, who will win, and all these things. And I thought we could kind of go through some of the picks and
do a recap,
see how
we
did.
If we were
and talk about some of the other notable moments of the show.
Yeah. I sadly was not able to watch it, but I caught some recaps. Thank you to or the people that I follow on Twitter who are very elaborate and thorough in their retweets and shade and just very funny.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, just quickly going through. So they have like the Day Song Awards, which are kind of like the big ones,
mm-hmm.
right? Or like the
major categories.
The major ones. So Artist of the Year ended up going to BTS,
which I believe you picked BTS, right?
I think I did.
And I think I said that's who I think should vote and I want to vote, but I ultimately picked EXO.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very happy that I was proven wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome for them. You know, who would have, I feel like, I don't totally know like the total history, but I would assume most of the time Artist of the Year is coming from an SM group or YG or JYP group. But here's BTS coming in with
this is huge.
Yeah. So really impressive for them. And then, Album of the Year, the other big one, that one did go to EXO.
Which I don't think we actually predicted anything for that one, because according to my notes, like we didn't make any selections for that. Because I don't know because they weren't part of the original nominees that we looked at.
Maybe this is like the strictly like Academy voted or whatever. Or
I don't know. It definitely wasn't on the website, so we didn't talk about it. But I think that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
the EXO one. So
well, it almost feels like it's like BTS and EXO. They're always these guys are like neck and neck at this point, So if like one's gonna win something, the other one's gonna win the other thing. But then you go to Song of the Year, the Day Song, which I also don't think was up for voting.
It was Song of the Year.
Oh, it was.
I have it in bright bold red font that I was correct in choosing cheer up.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
Even though I don't really, I don't love it.
I mean, it was I think it was undeniable.
We
just
discussed that it was a huge song.
Yeah, and I think I would have probably been voting for Monster just because I love that.
That was a big song too.
Yeah, and then but Twice got it, so I mean that's a pretty major one. Totally. And then a couple moving on down. Best music video, that went to Blackpink's Whistle, which I'm not mad about.
I picked that one, so
I'm
definitely not mad about that.
I think I wanted Gaien's Carnival the last day, but that's okay. I'm kind of surprised BTS didn't get that, given how many voters they probably had on their side, and EXO wasn't in that category.
Right.
So it seemed like it would have been BTS's for the taking, but hey, Blackpink.
I feel like Whistle maybe had a farther reach just because it was out so long before BTS's song, and then they took number one, a few weeks. So
no, that makes sense. Best male and best female artist, Zico ended up winning.
I was wrong, but I'm not mad about it.
Me neither. Did we want Crush?
I voted Crush.
Yeah.
But Zico makes sense.
It was definitely a major year for him. Major year. And then best female went to Taeyeon.
Which I think we both picked.
I think I was also rooting for Ailey there, but Taeyeon I'm not mad about either.
Taeyeon makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy for her, totally. Well deserved. Now we got best male group and best female group. EXO got best male group, which I think we both were kind of like, it kind of has to be them at this point. If anything, they're still at the top of their game. BTS is coming for them, but not maybe totally there yet. And then best female group, Twice ended up getting it, which I thought was a little unexpected. Or I mean,
really?
Not unexpected. I mean,
how am I the one who doesn't really mess with Twice? And I'm like, Twice is gonna win. Twice is gonna win.
Well, I thought it was gonna be a Red Velvet situation, just because this SM, but not to say that JYP is small or anything, but it just seemed. I guess maybe I was getting skewed or biased by the voting because all these SM acts had so many votes.
Maybe I feel like Red Velvet was so early in the year.
Maybe they did do 2 comebacks, but
did they?
Yeah.
I don't know why Twice left a bigger impression on me.
Yeah, I mean Twice. I mean you just can't deny them. They 2 number ones just this year. I don't think Red Velvet pulled that off. So yeah. Moving down, I think. Did we talk about best collaboration?
We haven't. Did we both pick the winner, Dream?
Yeah,
based on just Suzy and
just that powerhouse-ness of that.
Right.
I mean, that was just. I mean, they didn't have a ton of the competition, but I was really. Yeah, I mean, that one was just sort of undeniable in my opinion.
Yeah.
Did we also?
I totally messed up on all the specific performances, like best band and best rap. I was wrong.
Oh right, best band and best rap. I knew it was gonna with best band. We'll do that one first. I had a feeling it was gonna go to a
CN
an
Blue,
FNC.
And
I was thinking FT Island would pull it off, but it looks like they gave it to CN Blue.
That makes sense. I was just hoping in this case that Day 6 would pull it off, but Day 6 just doesn't have, I think, the fan base at this point to win that. Right. Yeah.
Best rap performance. I think we wanted Sunny, right?
I want a Zico.
Right, even though that's not a rap, but
I know, right?
But it went to
a song that I actually have never heard.
And BY, I keep hearing about BY, and I need to check them out because I keep seeing them getting a lot of attention lately, and I think they've won a lot of awards. So I need to check that one out. And last but not least, we had best new artist male, and best new artist female. NCT 127 got male,
which we both picked. I think
I kind of begrudgingly agreed to it because I was
because you knew no one else would have won that. Well, there's no way.
There wasn't not a strong year in my opinion for the boys at least, but the girls on the other hand, you had IOI, Blackpink, WJSN.
I'm mad about this. I'm very annoyed.
Really?
Blackpink should have won. Are you kidding me?
You know what? Did you hear the news though that YG said none of the artists are going to Mama or performing because of quote unquote schedules? To me, that almost read like something. Either they decided they're not going to go, and then Mama was like, okay, then, IOI gets it or something. Or,
But they won Best Music Video.
right, which I almost feel like was a caveat, like to them being like, we're still going to give you this,
But you're not going to get the bigger award.
Right, because Best
award.
Music Video. Okay, But like,
Right.
you can only get Best New Artist once, which I think is why it's such...
Mama, how petty.
It's
petty as shit.
And Mama is a production of Mnet, and IOI was created on
That's
Produce
true.
101, which is on Mnet. So it almost kind of felt like, I wondered if they were like arguing over...
I'm like, how do you get Best New Girl Group or Best New Female Artist for a group that's not technically staying together?
Because they're still the best new one, Tina.
Oh my God. They're not going to be, they're technically not even going to be in existence.
Exactly. That's why they had to win it this year.
Nothing is sacred.
I don't know. I mean, all these awards, for the most part, I think it's like the Golden Disc Award, even though that one I'm starting to become wary of. A lot of these things seem like there's a lot of negotiations.
Yeah.
Of, we'll give you this award.
I
if
mean,
you
there's
show up.
politics. I mean, if you think, the
So much.
Grammys, if you think about it, like, there's a
Really?
lot of crap happening with that. I don't,
Yeah.
so.
The scammies or something.
That's the only one that I was a little bit annoyed with, but
Really?
everything else for the most part I could understand.
It seemed like everyone more like, I was rooting for Ailey to get some shine on Best Female, but she actually did end up getting one of the smaller Best Female Vocal Solo Performance. So I was like, okay,
that's great.
you got that with the If You song, I was
that's
happy for
great.
that. Taemin got some love, G-Friend got some love, 17 got some love.
Oh yeah, G-Friend got like Best Dance Performance or
Yeah,
something.
which I don't
Which
hate.
that I guess over like in K-pop, dance means like a choreography.
Kinda, but
Right.
like so many times, like
There's
they
like
just,
some form of
it's sort of like
unison choreography.
it's sort of like if you didn't have like the biggest, like the top one of the top 5 songs, we'll call you dance, and we'll be like, that's how I always feel.
that
Like
was a
Mama
very
is.
strange category to
Yeah,
me.
it's always the Grammys do that too. For the longest time, they'd be like, Britney Spears is dance, right? And it
'Cause
just
there's
made no sense. Yeah. Anyway, but some other notable moments from Mama. Your boy Gallant performed.
Yes.
He got his own
I
sort
didn't.
of solo
okay,
thing.
so I knew that he like was friends with Dean and he's gone to Korea and he's like met Tablo and all of that. But I thought that was just within that circle. So I don't know or I haven't heard anything about how this kind of came about.
Yeah, me neither.
And I also didn't know he was known there.
Yeah.
But I
He
think
did some shows.
He just performed there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, I love that he is getting worldwide, love. I saw bits and pieces of the performance, and he performed the same way he usually does, except just on like a huge stage.
A huge stage. Yeah.
The falsetto was really there.
There's this really adorable clip going around. Have you seen it?
Of him and BTS, yeah.
like,
Where like, was it Rat Monster who
Yes.
was like trying to
Belts
hit
it
that?
out.
Yeah, I was trying to belt it, and it was just like
he is belting for
holy
dear life.
shit,
It
yeah.
was really cute.
Yeah,
I loved
yeah.
it. And it was awesome. They were all
yeah,
very,
and I love that. Like, one of my favorite artists here is it really embraced the audience over there, and they seemed to embrace him
Totally.
back. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that he didn't perform with Dean
Right. I thought
or do any
something
sort
with-
of collaboration.
Right. Right. And then
I'm mad that he didn't bring Anderson with him. Anderson Paak.
that would have gone off. People would have loved that because they love him there too.
Because Anderson like works with Dean a lot too. So
Yeah. And you saw the news, right? That Gallant, Tablo, and Eric Nam did a song together, and that's coming out soon.
I did not hear about that. Okay.
It's coming. And I was sort of hoping we'd get to see a taste of that at least, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it. But speaking of Eric Nam, he
I thought
performed.
that's really random.
It is a little
Eric
random.
Nam's not like
He's getting there,
any
Tina.
sort of alt R&B hip hop.
Maybe he wants to be. Or maybe
But I guess they're all different in that sense because Tablo is obviously
yeah,
a hip hop
hip-hop,
producer.
yeah.
Gallant's very R&B
Yeah.
rhythm, very soul based. So I guess that kind of they'll balance each other out, which is cool.
It'll certainly be. I feel like we're not going to get a Bermuda Triangle, but
No,
it's going
we're
to be something
not.
very different.
Yeah.
But that's coming. And then Eric Nam, of course, performed with Timbaland.
I did see that.
Yeah,
That
which-
song was so like 90s boy like pop boy band as. I kind of
Really?
loved it.
It reminded me of Work From Home, at least the beat. The doot,
Okay.
doot, 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 doot.
Okay.
You know, like that kind of like very like xylophone.
It also, I mean,
But I still liked it. It was very like, I loved kind of how the vocals were a little sensual, a little breathy, but
Right.
then kind of kept growing and, you know,
Right.
lots of layerings and harmonies.
yeah.
It definitely gave me that vibe.
It had
in
a
that way
little bit
too.
of like rain in there.
Oh,
the vibe.
I like that. Yeah, I see that.
So I liked seeing that side of Eric now
Oh,
because I
yeah, for
haven't.
Right.
But like I thought it was Timberland just basically went out there and like his feature was him just like shouting the main line, like
Shouting
chorus
over
line.
Eric,
Yeah.
Right.
So that was
While his DJ also shouted.
right. So I was like, okay, but it was one big party. People were feeling it.
Yeah, no, the songs, I've been listening to the song a lot actually. So yeah, I'm a fan. Last but not least though, the collaboration that didn't
happen,
which
that people didn't realize was supposed to happen
until footage showed up, and then
until Wiz called her out.
Yeah.
So for those who are not yet caught up on this,
yeah.
Wiz Khalifa, obviously, big name here, has a lot of hits under his belt. Very mainstream friendly for the most part. He's that guy who like, you're like, hey, get Wiz on your song, you know, like people like Wiz. He's feel good.
Huge. I mean,
huge. Yeah.
See You Again was like the biggest song of the summer last year. And that was the song you know, it was expected, or I guess planned, that Taeyeon and him were going to perform. Obviously, she would take the vocals that Charlie Puth originally sings, you know, and then footage, you know, or he performed by himself in the show, and then later rehearsal footage leaked of her singing One Call Away. That's the other Charlie Puth song. See You Again, the chorus, and sounding really awesome, by the way. It's like right in her range, sweet spot, 100%.
But this footage came out only after he first tweeted about her lack of collaboration. Oh. Because they sought that, because people were wondering, like, where's the footage?
Yeah.
So he first tweeted he tweeted a couple things like that were at first very ambiguous, like don't take rejection as like a reflection of your self-worth or blah, etc. So and then he followed it up with I was surprised by Taeyong not you know, canceling, like basically she pulled out of the performance. She backed out last minute. And then so first of all, people noticed that he spelled Taeyong wrong, so they called him out on that. And then he retweeted someone saying, oh, it's spelled this way with however it's spelled, whatever. And so people were like, oh shit, like Wiz exposed Taeyong. So people were wondering what the real story was. Like there must be, because like so ones were like, there must be a reasonable explanation for Taeyong to cancel, right? And then she followed up with an Instagram post that was translated that more or less said there was music difficulties, technical difficulties. There was only AR recorded, which is like the recorded voice, and no MR, like no like instrumentals recorded. So basically saying it was a big mess technically. Yeah. So she couldn't perform.
She was, and I was seeing like she was ready to perform. Right. You know, I get why you guys were confused. You know, like I would be confused too. At first, I was like, oh yeah, this seems really legitimate, and you know, like okay, like it sounds like something technically went wrong. But then Wiz followed up and said something about how, you know, Taeyeon, what the real reason it didn't happen, because he was hearing that Taeyeon was claiming she had to go to the hospital
the night before, but she did the rehearsal.
Yeah.
And then what was the second part of the tweet?
And then she did the practice, right. And then he said she asked to be on a different stage than me, then canceled. So yeah.
Like, what do you mean different stage? Like, she wanted to do the song, be on a different stage, or she just didn't want to do that stage? I
don't know if he's saying stage, like how K-pop fans know it, like the stage, the Taeyeon and Wiz Khalifa stage, or literally wanted to be on a separate stage from him, which sounds a little bizarre and like diva-ish, if it's even true. But
like the way we say stage here, it's like usually literal stage.
That's
she wants to be on a different stage. It's not like, oh, they're coming back with their stage. They're comeback stage, you know?
Which is, a little, which is kind of funny that like we're having this issue because we're like clearly in the middle of both these two worlds and trying to figure it out.
Right.
But yeah, it just, I don't know. It's just, I mean, overall, I'm just kind of disappointed by the whole situation in general. Right. Like, this is just and something I've experienced a lot, like awesome opportunities for like both sides, and something goes wrong. And this tends to happen a lot in K-pop, which maybe is telling of K-pop more so than the other side. But it's just like a lot of these things, there's just so many people involved and so many people worried and so many people trying to be protective and all this stuff that it just ends up being this huge mess that like it just really leaves a sour taste in your mouth. And I don't expect Wiz Khalifa to jump on any K-pop star songs anytime soon, you know, or at least not any SM artist songs, you know, which is such a shame because, you know, that could be awesome.
that bridge has, I wouldn't say it's burned, but there's a lot of mending to be done if anybody wants to seek him out from that label. And it's just like I would just say, just from a bystander or a third party view, as someone who doesn't really claim either artist, it was just interesting to see the fan backlash, because people who either don't like SM or don't care for Taeyang, they just were entertained or like, this is kind of funny and like, what is happening? And then obviously
I saw some racism claims,
I think and then like the Girls' Generation fans and SM supporters were like, why are you coming for her? There must be an explanation. But I will say, like, my first reaction was, what racist thing went through her mind this time? Because for those who don't remember, she said something along the lines of Alicia Keys is pretty for a black person. This was a few years ago, and I remember this made its way around around the forums. I think this was actually before Twitter really blew up. Maybe like 2009, 2010, 2011, something like that. So she did say that. But this is actually a sentiment that a lot of people in Asia will think, and to them it's not racist because they don't see any black people. So they're like, they feel like out of the limited ones that they have seen, Alicia was like the prettier one out of them. And it's wildly ignorant, wildly inappropriate. But so I mean,
I didn't even know that.
So for Wiz is essentially the opposite of what is like considered normal and appropriate in Korean society, because his whole brand is based on smoking weed.
I mean, did you see the red carpet photos of him? He's literally like doing like the puff.
That's what I'm saying. Basically, like what we glorify him for here.
Yeah.
It's like not. I don't know why he was booked there. I don't understand, because like any sort of drug related scandal is huge over there. Right. So like he's just like walking around smoking a blunt like doody daddy doo. And then he also like he's so tatted up, and like people aren't super tatted up in Korea. So it's like it doesn't make sense why they booked him.
Well, you know,
it was very risky on that end.
I agree with that. But at the same time, I personally at least was like, oh my gosh, finally, like, you know, these finally we're getting like a really big name, because you know, lots of times like these like award shows will bring like really random people, like, you know.
He was a very relevant and big name. And
do you remember like Pet Shop Boys were at the
I don't know who that is.
last year.
I don't know who that is.
Really old, like 80s band. Like, it was interesting, but I'm like, what are they doing here? Or like when Paris Hilton was there 2 years ago, I'm like, what?
It's like y'all are really reaching the way they try to sell them as these big stars.
I'm just like, you know, so at least here I was like, okay, wow, Wiz Khalifa, someone like really, you know, more or less at the top of the game, gallant, the rising newcomer, like so awesome. Timbaland, a classic,
right.
You know,
it's like, even though they seem random, they at least were relevant in their respective fields. Oh my gosh,
yeah. And it was exciting too.
Yeah, it was. So, but yeah, my point is, it wouldn't surprise me if there were some, if Taeyang felt uncomfortable, or if she had, I'm not defending her. I think it's horrid. I'm just saying that, like,
you can be empathetic though. So, or see where she's at least where that mindset might have originated from.
Yeah.
Not to excuse it though.
No, not at all. Not at
Yeah.
all. I'm just like, I just really don't know, like, if they thought about or really understood Wiz's brand.
Yeah.
Before they
only
booked
kind
him.
of heard him maybe on record or something like that.
Right.
Which is interesting. And you know what came to my attention in the aftermath of all this? Do you remember when Will.i.am and the Black Eyed Peas were at one of maybe it was like 2011, I mean, Mamas, and CL performed with them.
Oh, I
the
think I
Black Eyed
vaguely
Peas.
remember
They did
that.
Where's the Love? But there was rehearsal footage of, guess who? Taeyeon and Tiffany also rehearsing with them and doing a whole thing with them, along with CL and the Black Eyed Peas. And then when a push came to shove at the award show, it was just CL. And I was wondering, may not be related at all.
But
what
Tiffany's from the U.S.
Right. It
or
almost,
maybe it's an SM thing.
I wonder if it was like a management or like SM thing or something like that.
Well, then don't
Very
like
weird,
plan
right?
it then and then back out. What is wrong with you?
Very weird stuff. Exactly.
I mean, again, we're speculating, but it's
all
just
speculation. We're not saying one side's right or wrong or
right.
who's.
But I guess like what we don't have to speculate is the fact that Wiz felt very much disrespected.
Yeah.
He felt like it was like a personal attack, but he's trying to obviously rise above it. Like it was probably just like a rude awakening when you're in a different country. I understand this is not Korea. This took place in Hong Kong, but a lot of the coverage was obviously Korean coverage and it was K-pop based. But he probably felt like, wow, he felt like there was probably underlying issues there that he didn't know what to make of.
Right. It's probably something
and he just felt
new.
very awkward.
Yeah, exactly. So, I feel like you don't take to Twitter like he did if you don't sort of,
right.
If you don't feel like you really
and
have
he
something
wasn't even like, I mean, he threw under the bus for sure, but it wasn't like, oh, screw you, I'm never going to work with her. He was just letting people know that an element of his performance was not there. Yeah. And it could have been something more than what it was.
Right. Lots of talking about, I was surprised, but I'm rising above it,
Right. Because he went overseas. It would make sense for him to at least perform with someone who's an overseas artist, right?
Right. Yeah. What the heck happened with Gallant? But that's
true. That's true.
They should have done something with him
Never
too.
mind. I take that back. I don't think they really incorporated both sides very well on the stage, at least. But
But I don't know. I remember reaching, just trying to, it's just kind of sad and messy and unfortunate that, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
And as far as we know, Taeyong and her side has not responded to Wiz's tweet, right? Like his response to her
directly,
response. Okay.
But I don't know.
Like, I think that's wildly unprofessional for them to not actually respond to him directly, because regardless of what actually happened, whether there's a misunderstanding or not, he clearly is not happy about this.
Right. So, and it doesn't feel like it does on the other side, at least, this might be more of a K-pop Korea, don't show your emotions, don't get upset, don't show
we
you're
don't like
angry.
confrontations.
Yeah. That might be like a Korean thing too, but Taeyeon doesn't seem to be mentioning any faults on Wiz's end. She is going with the route of stage production,
right?
And, technical difficulties,
aka not addressing the real situation at hand.
He's seemingly coming for her, and maybe it's unfair to say, maybe he's who really knows. I guess but we can only take people's words at what they're worth, and it seems to be that if he is putting blame on her, she is deflecting it by putting it on something else, which is interesting.
Which is shady in itself, but whatever.
Yes. Yeah, interesting.
I think about this. I'm like, yo, Wiz and Yosub from Beast should team up, because they're both all about calling people out on Twitter. Do you remember that? Yosub called out the manager was like, "Thanks for not booking us on their shit." That was
Shading
hilarious.
Cube,
yeah.
a classic K-Stop episode. Yosub shades Cube, great,
freaking hilarious.
A great episode. I'm always here for them shading bad management. But let us know. Are you guys here for the shade? Are you Team Taeyeon, Team Wiz, Team Timbaland, Team Eric Nam? Same team.
I think it's Team Timberland because the memes that were going around for his facial expressions were gold.
He seemed a little jet lagged, for lack of a better word. But in any case, let us know what you guys think of all the releases of the week, who you're listening to, what are you excited about, what are you not excited about? Did you like Mamas? Did you like our picks? Did you like the winners? Let us know everything. Didn't IOI deserve Best New Artist, etc., etc. As always, Tina just rolled her eyes at me. This has been Jeff.
And this is Tina. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.